So as I was saying about freight, didn't realize that it ruled the U.S. economy like it does. So I was really super excited about that. And once I sat down and thought about all the years I've been moving things, I started with my dad doing hay and firewood, and we also did pulpwood when I got a little bit older. Uh, Moving people, and then we went into tree service. So we were always basically in transportation of some sort or logistics. So uh, going into the military, I used to railhead. We would ship equipment uh, to the field, repaired equipment. I was a generator mechanic, so we would ship repaired equipment to different depots like Red River, uh, Tool Air, Tool something base in Utah, and other places, even the Pentagon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I was in logistics in the military as well. Um, so the transition has been relatively interesting as well as easy, although all the forms and paperwork that you have to be in the freight industry can be tedious but rewarding. So I just thought that with all of my combined experience being a, a repair technician, I'm not really a mechanic. Outside of U.S. Army Ordnance School, I have no other formal training, no ASE certification or anything like that. But I do have experience, and I was also a motor hand in the oil field for a couple of years. So I got a lot of experience with different types of equipment there. Basically, a motor hand in the oil field is responsible for every piece of equipment there, from the generator system, which is a diesel electric motor. It's basically a train engine, y'all. I'm talking about loud, big, and powerful. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. It's what's responsible for all the power, not only the lights, but the power used for the drawworks to pull up the drill stem, which is maybe anywhere from 15,000 feet long, which is like 3 miles. Because once we drill down, and every time we need to put another 90-foot stem of pipe on the down in the hole, it has to pick up on it, and we have to detach a string and put another 90 feet on. So that's thousands and thousands of pounds. I think they maybe pull 270,000 pounds. What is that? 130, 13, 2,000. What is that? 270. It's like 135 tons, something like that. Yeah, like 135 tons. Man, that's like, so basically a drill rig or the drill stem is like a train, you know, and it has to be pulled like a train. The engineer can't just get in the train and just mash on the gas. He has to pull it slowly at first until it gains momentum, so that the train doesn't, because there's slack. If you got a train that's a mile long or 2 miles long, and you have a gap like this between each car, then you multiply that times 5,200 or 5,280. That's quarter mile of slack. So same thing with a drill stem. If you just mash on it and you have 15,000 feet of drill stem, the elasticity of the stem, could cause some kind of odd happenings underground and mess the hole up or break off. I've seen stems break off. One time, a crew broke off uh, the last stem in the hole, I believe, and it had the drill bit in there, and we had to fish. And fishing in the oil field is called, or fishing in the oil field basically is when you have to put this strange looking head, it's almost like one of those tools the mechanic uses with the stem when you can't get a magnet in there. It's got these little grabs on it, and when you push the button, it comes out, and then when you let go, it's kind of like that. We had to put a tool like that on, and we tripped pipe in and out of the hole for 4 to 6 weeks, if I remember. I mean, we worked 12-hour shifts. I went home for a week and came back, and we tripped pipe in and out of the hole that whole week. Went home again, came back, and we did it again. And we did it again. So basically for 5 weeks that I was on there, so what is that? That's almost 10 weeks of, man, it made me start to appreciate tripping pipe. Everybody always hated tripping pipe because it's messy, it's monotonous. But after a while, you get so used to it, I didn't want to do anything else but trip pipe. Luckily, I had a knowledgeable driller who knew the importance of equipment maintenance during an oil operation or an excavation, that he allowed me a lot of time off the rig floor. So at that point, I got to read a lot of manuals and call the companies that manufacture the equipment and get a lot of knowledge from the actual assembly personnel. That really helped me out a lot. I became really knowledgeable within that time, not only just on tripping pipe, but on equipment as well, like the generator room, the SER house, find out where the air filters was. Oh man, wow, learned a lot of stuff. And while everyone else would be doing all kinds of other things, I never took a break. Every time I was taking a break, I was either in a book, I was cleaning my SER house. I'm talking about, I had it immaculate. It was pretty too. Everything in there shined. My motors in the gen house were spotless. My fluids were always topped off. My motors were pretty. Just beautiful things. Just beautiful. Really learned to love equipment. My mud pumps outside by the mud pits were always immaculate. Learned how to lock out, tag out a lot of stuff for energy, electrical energy as well as potential energy, hydraulic energy. Really, really cool stuff. Learned a lot about the BOP as well. The only thing I never mastered, because this one hand, all he wanted to do was operate the I forget what you call it, but it's a machine that they use when you lay down pipe that allows I forget what it's called, but basically it's like a trough that lowers the pipe down onto the ground so that it can be put on the pipe rack to be loaded off the site. Yeah, I never really got that one. I knew how to use it, but I wasn't proficient. I wasn't fast enough. Yeah, I was always thinking about safety. I never wanted to hurt anyone. Same thing at General Motors when I operated the motor crane, the motor hoist. I always had a guy on the other side who was stabbing the transmission spline into the drive shaft into the transmission, and those guys on that side never worked on my side. I actually asked to work on the other side before I got back on the engine hoist, because I wanted to know what they were going through so I could be a better operator and a safer operator on the hoist. So these guys, they complain, and I was always this. It's always like that when someone doesn't know what you're doing. So I knew what they were doing, and I knew that they were just being petty. But peace to those guys for not knowing, and I wish them all the luck in the world, but they should really cross-train. They really should cross-train. But yeah, I just got all off. But yeah, we'll talk about freight. We're going to get back on that in the next video. By the way, thanks for watching.